Good morning. I am Donald Violin, past commander of the Novato VFW Post 7816, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. I would like to welcome you to the 36th Memorial Day celebration at Valley Memorial Park. Earlier, flags were placed at the grave sites honoring over 700 veterans by the Boy Scouts of Troop 27 and the Cub Scouts of Pack 27, and Pack 279 as well, I'm just told. Those on hand today to honor the veterans buried here are the Novato Veterans of Foreign Wars, guest veterans, the Novato High School Air Force ROTC, Novato Elks Lodge, Novato Police Department, Novato Fire Department, and elected officials. Now I would like to recognize the leaders in our community who are here today. When your name is called, please stand. Please hold the applause until the end. Marin County Supervisor Judy Arnold. Marin County School Superintendent Mary Jane Burke. Novato Council Member Pat Eklund. Novato Council Member Pam Drew. Novato Police Chief Adam McGill. Novato Fire Chief Bill Tyler. Marin Sheriff Department Mike Bravelli. Thank you. Thank you all for being with us today. We are holding this ceremony today at the site of the marble benches located behind me, which were donated and dedicated by the Valley Memorial Park in 2015 to honor all branches of the armed services as well as the Merchant Marines and POW MIA families. We will now start the proceedings. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of colors and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. You may salute the flag by placing your hand over your heart, or if under cover, use the hand salute. Novato High School ROTC cadets, please present the colors.
Carry, colors. Forward, march. Color guard, halt. Left, face. Present, colors.
She's gonna be your singer, sir. She's gonna be your singer, sir.
Post, colors.
Order, colors. Post, colors. Right, face. Forward, march.
Novato Police Chaplain Patty Branscombe, please give the invocation.
Let's go. Creator God, we gather on this occasion for sacred remembrance and a renewal of spirit. We remember with a sense of gratitude and humility the lives lost and lives forever changed in war. May we also remember your great love for us and that there is no greater demonstration of love than to lay down one's life for another. Grant that our reflections today honor those who made choices, as well as those who are many more who are willing to do so if called upon. May we remember this day the dead, not only from our nation, but in all lands where men and women and children have lost their lives to the harsh and bitter cruelty of human combat. In our remembrance, may we not be puffed up with overbearing pride, but rather may we be endued with a generous patriotism that reaches out to the human family on every continent and shore. Make us more compassionate, loving, and forgiving as we call to mind the sacrifices that are made. Amen.
Thank you. Novato High School ROTC Cadet Major Michael Fretz will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, sir. Those in uniform, please salute. Those not, please place your right hand over your heart and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order. Arms. Thank you.
Thank you. The national anthem will now be sung by Novato High School ROTC Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Olivia Severance.
Sorry about that.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We have two wreaths to be placed today. The first wreath will be presented by Barbara Treitz, Exalted Ruler, and Rob Treitz, Leading Knight, both of the Novato Elks Lodge, who I might add were responsible for providing the seats you're sitting in. Oh, please sit, yes.
Where do we put it?
Where does it go?
Right here's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next wreath will be placed by Stan Kudia, commander of the Novato Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 7816. Thank you. Our first speaker is Mayor Josh Friday. Josh Friday was elected to the Novato City Council in 2015 and currently serves as mayor of Novato. In his professional capacity, he serves as president of Golden State Opportunity, working to provide financial security to low-income working people throughout California. Prior to his current position, he served as chief operating officer for NextGen Climate, a leading national organization focused on combating climate change and improving clean energy. Mayor Friday also served in the military as a member of the Judge Advocate General's Corps and officer in the United States Navy between 09 and 13. He served overseas in Yokosuka, Japan, where in addition to his legal duties, he augmented the humanitarian aid and disaster relief efforts of the Navy's 7th Fleet during Operation Tomodachi in 2011, following the March 11th earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster. He was also stationed in the Office of Military Commissions, working on the Guantanamo Bay, Cuba detainee cases, and testified before the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee on the closing of Guantanamo. Mayor Friday received his undergraduate degree in political science and philosophy from the University of California, Berkeley, graduating Phi Beta Kappa with highest honors. He received his law degree from the UC Berkeley School of Law and clerked in the United States Attorney's Office for the Northern District of California, as well as the San Francisco District Attorney's Office. Mayor Friday is a fellow with the Truman National Security Project and a term member of the Council of Foreign Relations. He is married to Molly Friday, an educator, and they have 3 energetic young boys, Shay, Calvin, and Tam. Please welcome Mayor Friday.
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And unfortunately, those energetic young boys couldn't get out of bed this morning, so I'm here alone by myself. Really an honor to be here and be part of this ceremony today, and grateful to Don, everything that you've done, and everyone with VFW to allow us to come together as a community and celebrate this. I'm also grateful to our wonderful Chief of Police, Adam McGill, who reminded me that on a day like today with the sun shining and we're all out here standing in front of the ensign, it's just a perfect day to say, go Navy. Can I get a go Navy? Thank you. Appreciate that. So I've always cherished the service of spirit we've had in Novato and the fact that we've always honored our veterans. And we have a wonderful veteran community anchored by Hamilton and the many people who have served here and retired, and many people who have served around the world and have come to Novato to spend the rest of their lives. And we've done great things, I think, in the City Council to honor our veterans, and we have members of our City Council that are also here today along with me. We've really invested in remodeling the VFW, which we're excited to be opening in this coming year for the whole community. We've also created a Novato Proud program to really capture the stories and highlight the amazing biographies of literally hundreds of veterans who live in Novato, and to be able to tell their stories for future generations is really important. And we also honor their service by creating programs that allow younger generations to continue to serve as they have. This year we're starting a new program, a first in its kind, where we've partnered with Dominican University for Novato graduates of Novato high schools who want to go to Dominican University and commit to serve the city of Novato and serve their community. Will be given the opportunity to go to college and receive up to $100,000 from Dominican University, a scholarship to be able to go to school. So it's those kinds of things where I think we honor our history and our heritage of service and our veteran community. And as a veteran, I'm grateful that we have Veterans Day to really celebrate and honor those who have served, American service members who have served in the armed services. But I'm also grateful that we have today, Memorial Day, where we honor American heroes. And to a veteran, there's a real distinction there. That distinction is not trivial. It's real and it's clear. The men and women who fell for our freedom so that we could stand here today, so I could stand here, so we could all be together, were heroes. And to be candid, I don't really know how even the words of our most esteemed poets could describe the gratitude and the sorrow and the pride that we have for our veterans that have fallen. But I do think that we have an opportunity today. I think that Memorial Day gives us a special opportunity to celebrate and remember with great humility the brave Americans who died while trying to make a world a better place. They died for us, for our safety, for our security, for our lives. They wore our nation's cloth, and they died in conflicts that we sent them to. And yet, in many ways, I think today is about us. Today is about us asking, what can we do to honor them? How can we spend our lives living as they did in service of others? What are we willing to sacrifice for future generations as they died doing. So on Memorial Day, every Memorial Day since I commissioned in the United States Navy, I think about an inscription in the Memorial Church of Harvard University. It's a World War I memorial where there are names on the walls of hundreds and hundreds, an entire generation of Harvard graduates who gave their lives in World War I. And the inscription reads, "While a bright future beckoned, they gave their lives freely and fondest hopes freely for us and our allies, so that we might learn from them courage and peace to spend our lives making a better world for others." And if we think there is truth in this statement, that we might learn from them courage and peace to spend our lives making a better world for others, we must ask ourselves always, have we? Have we all learned from them the courage to spend our lives making a better world for others? So I now see Memorial Day as a great opportunity, perhaps even the best opportunity to remind ourselves as a community and as a nation that we can teach and must teach the next generation how incredibly much people were willing to give, to sacrifice in order to help others. And it's an opportunity. In fact, it's really, in many ways, the perfect opportunity and the best opportunity we have to remind ourselves that we have an obligation, a duty as free citizens to serve and help others as they did. Because our sacred liberties as Americans do not come without responsibilities. Our freedoms do not come without sacrifice. And today, above all others, we come together as we are here in this beautiful morning as a nation to teach our children and remind ourselves of these fundamental truths and of the importance of service. So as we stand here, we know and we honor the courage and real courage it takes to spend one life in service of others, to actually put the needs of other people and one's community and one's country ahead of their own, ending in the ultimate sacrifice. The men and women we honor today did that. They put their needs, their dreams, their hopes, and their lives before ours. And I hope what I can say with great humility and honor for those who have fallen is that I hope today and tomorrow and next month and next year we will all live our lives as they died, in service of others and in service of this great nation. Because if we do, if in fact we have learned from them the courage in peace to spend our lives making the world a better place, then we honor them not just today, but every day. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is State Senator Mike McGuire. Senator Mike McGuire is a third-generation Northern Californian. Mike was first elected to the Healdsburg School Board when he was 19. As one of Northern California's youngest school board presidents, he led successful efforts to rebuild local decaying schools. In 2004, Mike was elected to the Healdsburg City Council, where he was the city's youngest mayor, and was instrumental in creating one of the most successful local economies and stable municipal budgets in the region. In 2010, during the depth of the recession, Mike was elected to the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, where he helped lead efforts that turned years of deficits into a multi-million-dollar surplus and brought forward the county's economic recovery and job plans that made Sonoma County one of the top counties in job growth in California. Mike has led efforts investing at historic levels, $160 million in local roads, bridges, and highways. He has been a champion for strong public schools, including co-founding the Career Technology Education Foundation that has invested over $1 million in career training classes in local high schools. Mike has always been a tireless advocate for our environment He has helped protect and preserve tens of thousands of acres of open space, watersheds, and coasts, and he successfully fought to keep our regional and state parks open to the public. Mike attended Santa Rosa Junior College and graduated from Sonoma State University. He is married to a local high school teacher and middle school assistant principal, Erica McGuire. Erica and Mike live in Healdsburg. Please give Senator Mike McGuire a warm Novato welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I just want to take a moment to say thank you for having me out, and grateful that all of you are here today to be able to recognize all those who made the ultimate sacrifice. What started out as a way to heal the nation after the Civil War, where 500,000 Americans lost their lives, Memorial Day has become an opportunity for all Americans to honor the service and sacrifice of our armed forces, and to be able to pay tribute to the over 1 million Americans who have given their life to protect our way of life back here at home. California is proudly home to more veterans than any other state in America. 1.8 million veterans call the Golden State home. 15,500 veterans call Marin County home, and that number continues to rise. And while progress has been made to provide services and programs and housing for Golden State veterans, we know that we have a lot of work ahead of us. 120,000 residents in California call the streets of our communities home every night. 25% of the 120,000 homeless in California are veterans. They have sacrificed so much for all of us on foreign soils, and they come back and sacrifice again on our streets. Hundreds of millions of dollars in the coming years will be invested to be able to end veterans' homelessness here in California. And in 2019, working with the County of Marin and Supervisor Arnold, along with her incredible Veteran Service Office, Mayor Friday, and the Novato City Council, we have a goal of ending veterans' homelessness in Marin County in the coming 3 years. In addition, starting next year, over $1 billion will be invested in permanent supportive housing for veterans up and down this great state. I want to take a moment to say thank you. On behalf of Governor Brown, who has declared this 28th day of May Memorial Day here in California, thank you to all of the active as well as all the veterans who are here today. I want to say thank you to the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, who have planted 500 flags throughout this beautiful cemetery. I want to say thank you to the VFW and American Legion, to the Elks Club, and of course to the ROTC for bringing this ceremony forward. Again, on behalf of the entire California State Senate, Governor Brown, California remembers all those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you so much. Our keynote speaker today is Captain Kent W. Everingham. Captain Everingham assumed his duties as commanding officer of Coast Guard Air Station San Francisco in July of 2016. As commanding officer, he is directly responsible for the leadership and operational performance of a 158-member multi-mission air station that protects 650 miles of California coastline and operates 7 helicopters for 24-hour launch at both San Francisco and Naval Base Ventura County. Captain Everingham received his commission from the United States Coast Guard Academy in 1991. His first assignment was aboard Coast Guard cutter Chase out of San Pedro, California. He then attended naval flight training in Pensacola, Florida, where he earned his Wings of Gold in April 1995. His subsequent operational tours include Air Station Traverse City, Michigan, Air Station Kodiak, Alaska, Air Station Savannah, Georgia, Aviation Logistics Center in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and Air Station Atlantic City, New Jersey. In 2011, Captain Everingham was assigned to Coast Guard Headquarters Office of Strategic Analysis, where he analyzed and coordinated enterprise-level strategic objectives to support and implement the Commandant of the Coast Guard strategy. In 2013, he was designated a DHS Senior Fellow, and prior to reporting to Air Station San Francisco, Captain Everingham served as the Chief of Preparedness, Coast Guard Pacific Area. Captain Everingham has a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering from the Coast Guard Academy and a Master of Science degree in Industrial Administration from Purdue University's Krannert School of Management. His personal awards include 4 Meritorious Service Medals, an Air Medal, 2 Coast Guard Commendation Medals, and 2 Coast Guard Achievement Medals. Captain Everingham and his wife Jill live in Novato with their 3 sons, Connor, Colin, and Chase. Let's give Captain Everingham a warm welcome, please.
Well, good morning. I'm truly honored to be with you here today to participate in this annual Memorial Day ceremony. I promise to keep my remarks short because the purpose of today is not to have you hear me speak, but to honor those that gave the ultimate sacrifice in the service of this country. Most of us are familiar with the old adage, old soldiers never die, they just fade away. That saying is grossly untrue on 2 accounts. First of all, old soldiers do die, often in combat, and so do young soldiers and sailors and Marines and airmen. Service members, young and old, men and women, from every branch of military service die defending our country and our way of life. They fight in popular and unpopular wars in countries all over the world. They carry the American flag and the ideals and values for which it stands to every corner of the world. They don't go for glory or honor or fame. They go because their country asked them to. They sacrifice family, friends, and sometimes their lives to serve their country. The New Testament tells us that there's no greater love than to give your life for another. Our fallen comrades have demonstrated that love, and that is what Memorial Day is all about. The second misconception is that old soldiers fade away. Our fallen comrades didn't fade away. In most cases, they were simply forgotten. One reason for this is the true meaning of Memorial Day has been lost by a majority of American people. To most Americans, Memorial Day is simply one of the federal holidays that brackets the summer season. Memorial Day for them marks the beginning of summer, the first barbecue of the season, opening of the community swimming pool, and the start of a family vacation, or a much-needed 3-day vacation. For the shopping malls and department stores, Memorial Day is an excuse to have one more spectacular sales event. Others confuse Memorial Day for Veterans Day or Armed Forces Day. And although it is highly appropriate to honor all our veterans, living and dead, and to recognize their immeasurable contributions to our country, that is not the purpose of today's ceremonies. Memorial Day is an annual holiday to honor all service members killed in wars in the defense of our country. It was originally called Decoration Day and is traditionally marked by parades, memorial speeches, and the decoration of graves with flowers and flags. It was first observed on 30 May 1868 for the purpose of decorating the graves of American Civil War dead. The forerunner to Memorial Day was born on 19 November 1863 when then President Abraham Lincoln traveled to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to help dedicate a new national cemetery in honor of the brave soldiers who died in a battle that served as a turning point in the Civil War. With your permission, I would like to read a portion of his now immortal address. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate. We cannot consecrate. We cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from this earth. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also fitting that we gather here today to remember and honor those brave men and women who have given their lives so that we might live in a free and prosperous United States of America. But in the same sense, it is impossible for us to do anything or say anything that can add to the honor that they so nobly earned. Rather, it is our solemn responsibility to remember them, to give grateful thanks that when their nation called, they answered with their lives. Take Private First Class Michael Gordon Tandy, U.S. Marine Corps. He grew up here in Novato and was a Boy Scout. He earned his Eagle Scout with Troop 42. He graduated from Novato High School in 1965 and joined the Marines. On September 8th, 1966, just 5 days after his 19th birthday, he was killed when he stepped on a landmine while on patrol in Vietnam. His final resting place is here at Valley Memorial Park, and I'm sure one of the young scouts here today placed a flag on his grave in remembrance of his tremendous sacrifice for his country. Michael Tandy's name is also forever etched in the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C., along with 58,318 other military men and women who sacrificed their lives for this country. Having been in the military for more than 27 years, my family has had the honor of spending Memorial Day in many different cities throughout this great country. Some communities are better than others when it comes to honoring our fallen service member, men and women. I have to say that Novato is one of the better ones, ensuring its citizens, both young and old, are afforded every opportunity on Memorial Day to gather and remember our fallen brothers and sisters. A perfect testament to Novato's commitment to never forgetting came in 1996 when ceremony organizers were able to arrange the moving Vietnam Memorial Wall to be here. It was here for 8 days. The half-size traveling memorial was visited by more than 25,000 local residents to pay honor to those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. If President Lincoln was here today, I believe he would be both amazed and disappointed, because his Gettysburg Address is better remembered than the fallen men to which he dedicated it. But there is still a spark of hope because you are here today. You made time in your schedules to remember these brave men and women. General Robert E. Lee once said, "It's well that war is so terrible, or we may become fond of it." The danger in not remembering the sacrifices made by these men and women is that as a nation we may forget that the price of freedom is never cheap. The freedoms that so many Americans enjoy today were paid for with the flesh and blood of American servicemen and women, and with the tears of those whose lives were changed forever by the loss of a loved one. Think of those who, in Lincoln's words, gave the last full measure of devotion, and you have some idea of the price of liberty. It has been a terrible price to pay if freedom fails, but a small price indeed if the world can eventually be free. Your presence here today is a living example of what American people should be doing on Memorial Day. In closing, I would like to encourage you to take a few minutes to walk through the cemetery and visit the grave of our fallen servicemen and women. I assure you there is no greater sense of gratitude than when you spend time personally reflecting on the sacrifices of our fallen comrades and recognize the sacrifices they made for you and me. And never forget that sacrifice is meaningless without remembrance. I thank you very much for this opportunity to say a few words today, and may God bless all those who gave their lives in service of this country. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you. ROTC Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Olivia Severns will now sing America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and proud thy good in brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you. Novato Police Department Chaplain Patty Branscombe, please give the benediction.
May the remembrance of the price we paid for our life as a nation impel us to seek justice, to foster freedom, and to pursue the ways of peace. May our nation be a source of blessing to all its people and to the rest of humankind. May that day come with the blessings of life abundant for all children under the sun. Shalom. Pacem. Om Shanti. Let peace come in 1,000 tongues and myriad of languages. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Well, you might not want to get up again. Bill Smith with the Las Colinas Valley Sanitary District Non-Marching Band will now play taps, so if you would, please get up again. Sorry. Thank you. For the audience, please stay right now. As we retire the colors, Novato High School ROTC cadets, please retire the colors.
Color guard, halt. Left, face, retrieve, colors. face, forward, march.
Thank you all for coming. Those of you that do not have to rush out are invited by the Novato Elks Lodge for coffee or juice and donuts in the main building to your left. This concludes our service for the day.